Okay. All right. So I hope everybody is here already. So I'm going to share the screen. Yes. The tab. I want to share this one. Share tab audio. Okay. All right. Right. So are you guys ready? How many of you who are ready to listen to my explanation today? Please press your raise hand button. Good. Okay. So this is, thank you so much. Right. So this is actually not a generator. I'm not using this to generate the APA format, but this website comes very handy. It explains quite well about how you can actually cite how you can actually do your in-text citation. Okay, before that, I copy the link first, and then I share it on your message box on the Google Meet. So if you happen to um, access, my session on a few devices, then you can take a look at it. All right. Now to begin with, so APA citation generator. So before that, let's find out what APA is all about. So APA means American Psychological Association. Yeah, let me highlight it. Okay. APA stands for American Psychological Association. So the reason why you use APA citation is to make sure that your work or your write-up would sound more academic, and then you are not producing a sweeping statement level of write-up. Okay, every point that you have proposed must be supported with a scholar justification. Scholar means professional academic level of um justification. You cannot just say that, okay, this has been approved by my neighbor next to my home, Machikia or something. Cannot. It must be proposed by someone who is professional enough in that particular field. All right. So APA citation style was developed by social and behavioral scientists to standardize the scientific writing, and it's currently in its 7th edition. All right, so the rest, I let you guys read it up by yourselves later. I want to explain to you about what kind of um, pieces of works that you can quote or cite. You may quote notes from the books, from the website articles, from the physical article as well. For example, newspaper articles, magazine articles, or maybe the journals articles, or maybe somebody else's thesis. You may find it at the university later on. And let's look at more over here. So what else you can quote? You can even quote your YouTube videos that you watch on YouTube. Okay. Sorry. All right. Later on, we'll discover about it about this later, even more. So let's find out what APA citation basic is. So the APA guide recommends that you cite any works. Okay, pay attention to this line. You cite any works or individuals whose ideas, theories, or research have directly influenced your work. For example, when you want to explain about the topic that you are supposed to cover is how to balance your academic demands and your personal life, right? Something like that. So you may want to explain the reason why. One of the reasons would be to maintain the quality of your mental health. So you may want to explain in a much more specific terms, okay, as quoted by someone who is very professional enough in that particular field. You want to explain, according to Professor someone, mental health can be defined as, so you may want to quote, what that particular professor has got to say about the term of mental health, right? How many of you who understand my explanation so far, please press your raise hand button. Good, right? So that's the reason why we need to do the citation, all right? So this is very important to you, especially when you get into the university later, all right? Whenever you come up with an assignment with a write-up, you cannot just simply share your thoughts, your personal thoughts only. And that's the reason why, remember, in our previous lesson on last Sunday, I explained to you that your essay should not sound personal. It must be impersonal. Okay, all right, let me share this one again. It must be impersonal. Impersonal means you have got to avoid using phrases such as I believe, in my opinion, I think. Please scrap these phrases off. You know, you cannot use this because this would make your essay sounded less academic. It makes your essay sounded more personal, you know, and more you know, like a diary, okay, instead of an academic write-up. So you may replace these phrases with some phrases which sounded more professional. For example, in general, many people believe that, okay? So in general, many people believe that you are referring to a group of people or a large number of people generally, you know? You're not referring to yourselves. And this has been quoted this has been proven by, you know, a research done by a group of people, you know, prior to your research, okay? Or maybe you may want to use okay, generally, many Malaysians, okay, have responded to the issue, something like that, okay? Right, so let's go back to this website, the bibguru.com. Okay, so this means that you should cite only works you have read and ideas you have incorporated in your writing, into your writing. Okay, my question, let me ask one of you. Let me ask Radin, are you there? Please say hello to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. Okay, when you cite, you know, when you cite a statement from any resources, from any website, okay, can you just copy and paste everything like this? Copy, and then let's say this is your Microsoft Word. Can you just simply paste it like this, Radin?
Cannot.
Okay, so what should you do?
Replace it.
Yes, rephrase it or paraphrase it. And okay, only then you consider that you have legally quoted or cited that particular website. Understand, guys? If yes, please press your raise hand button, everybody. Good. So basically, I have, all right, many of you have actually responded to me. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go back to this website. So in other words, a citation is actually, an in-text citation is actually a primary source reports original content, and a secondary source refers to content first reported in another source. Okay, so in your case, you are actually a secondary source, you are actually reporting a report which has been done earlier. So that's why you need to cite it, you need to quote it, yeah? So let's go through this one. APA in-text citation. This is what This is one of the requirements in your writing project, okay, for your 5% of LLL. Remember, if you fail to do so, you thought that your ideas are pretty complete already, but if you fail to provide me with the in-text citation as well as the references, you may lose your 5% of LLL marks. 5% is actually quite a lot, you see, because let's say you score only, all right, for remember your question paper the other day, let's check it out together, the Google Classroom. Okay, hang on. Where's your class? This one. So let's check out the classwork, the writing assignment, okay, the revised writing task. Okay, remember that the marks for task fulfillment is 20 marks and language and organization is also 20 marks. And then after we combine the marks together, let's say you score 18 for your task fulfillment and you score 20 for your language and organization. And then still, after we convert it into 20%, you will only get like 19%. But if you fail to get 5% for lifelong learning, so your total marks would be 19 out of 25, and that's quite low. All right. So that's why you need to pay attention to how you should come up with your marks for LLL. All right, so let's go back to this one. So in-text references have two formats, parenthetical and narrative. Parenthetical, the author's name and publication date appear in parentheses. Okay, parenthesis means okay, this means when a parenthetical citation is at the end of the sentence, place the period or other end punctuation after the closing parenthesis. Here is an example. Okay, so here is parenthetical citation. Here is narrative citation. Okay, so this is how you do it. So you have basically paraphrased your points that you have taken them out of the original sources or original source. And then at the end of it, don't put the full stop just yet, but open the bracket and write the surname of the writer or the author, and then give a comma to it, and then you must write down the year that that article was published, and then give and close the bracket and give a full stop to it. That's what we call as parenthetical citation. You rephrase the quotes, you cited the points that you have taken from this author's article, but you must make sure you paraphrase it first, and then you give you write down the surname. Remember, surname is the family name of the writer, okay, not the first name. For example, I recall you once again. Okay, Michael Jackson. So which one is the surname? Let me ask Siti Farhana, which one is the surname of Michael Jackson? Is it Michael or Jackson? Siti? Cannot hear you. Okay, let's ask somebody else because I certainly cannot hear you. Maybe you have problems with your microphone. So can we have another person? Amilin. Amilin, say hello to me, please. Nurul Amilin binti Abdul Shukri or something. Are you there, Amilin? Don't just be present, but physically you are not watching me. Okay. Nurul Amilin is not paying attention. Let's have Tuan Muhammad Hakim. Are you there? Tuan Muhammad
Yes,
Hakim.
sir.
All right. So my question is, which one is the surname? Is it Michael or Jackson?
Jackson.
That's correct. Okay, so Jackson is the surname. So you must put the surname. Sorry. I have not shared this one. Okay, I should have shared this page. Michael and Jackson, you use Jackson. Jackson is the surname, Michael is the first name. Okay, let's go back to this one. So here's how you should do the uh citation. Or there is also another way. Okay, this is what we call as narrative citation. You quote the name first, okay, but you don't put it inside the bracket. So you write the surname and then you give a bracket to the year the article was published. In this case, it's 2012. And then this one is um, the paraphrased sentences from the original article. Okay. And then you can also you can also write your citation like this. You may write in a sentence. For example, in 2020, Hakim wrote about the productive activities, right? Things like that. And actually, we have another two ways of how you can actually quote the citation, but this one I don't have to explain to you in detail because basically only PhD or master students would who would be quoting two or three um articles at one time. Okay, so you don't have to pay attention to this ways just yet. So please pay attention to these three types of how you should quote your original articles first. Okay, how many of you who understand so far my explanation? Again, I want to see some responses. Okay, thank you. Okay, for paying your 100% attention to my explanation. Don't worry, I I actually share I actually record this presentation so that you can refer to it later. I'll upload this on the YouTube channel of mine. Okay. So, but you must remember that this is applicable to an article written by a writer or an author. Only one person who writes this article, but there would be a little bit of adjustment if the article is written by more than one person. Okay, so look at this part. If you cite a work with more than one author or editor, additional rules apply. So if a work has two authors, cite both names every time the reference occurs in the text. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, so let's say we have two writers, Michael Jackson and Tom Hanks. Okay. All right. So how you should and the article was written in 1999. So how you quote this write up by using by writing something like this. According to Jackson and Hanks, and give it and write down the year the article was published. Give a comma, or maybe you want to write something like this. In 1999, Jackson and Hanks have proposed the idea of what mental health is all about. Okay, that's another way I gave it a point form like this. Or you may want to write down something like, okay, mental health is a condition when people should be um stable, mentally stable enough to go through their daily life. Jackson and Hanks, comma, 1999. You don't give a full stop to this sentence just yet. You must make sure you write down the citation first. Okay, you see, this is the surname, and please don't misspell the name of the original writers, and you must make sure you spell it with the capital letter for the beginning of the name, and then use the symbol of N. You don't spell A-N-D like this. No, you use the symbol of N. And then the second writer, comma, the year, the year the article was published, and close the bracket, and only then you give a full stop to it. All right, these are 3 ways of how you can do the citation. Okay, all right. So that's this is if there are 2 authors, and make sure you don't simply change the sequence of the writers. They certainly have purpose why Jackson comes first and Hanks comes later. The reason why is, according to this one, if let's say we have 2 authors like here, like what we have right here, Mayer and Rickel, or Rilk, something like that. So the first person who appears first means they contributed to the write-up the most, and the second one contributes lesser than the first one. So that's why you must maintain the position of the name, according to the original article. Okay, and then let's go back to this one. So if a work has 2 authors, cite both names every time the reference occurs in the text. And when citing a work with 3 to 5 authors, cite all authors the first time the reference occurs. After the first time, you only need to include the last name of the first author, followed by et al. Okay, if let's say we have Michael Jackson, comma, Tom Hanks, comma, Barack Obama, comma, Robert De Niro, comma, Tom Hardy. Okay, and the article was written in 2021. Okay, so how you are going to quote this? Okay, for the very first time, when you want to explain about the points that you have taken from the article written by these bunch of people, around 3 to 5 people, okay, 3 to 5 persons. So you will quote something like this. According to Jackson, Hanks, Obama, De Niro, and Hardy, 2021. Okay, this is between 3 to 5 only. They have come up with a definition of what mental health is. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Jackson, ETAL, dot, comma, 2021. You see here, the first time we proposed the citation of this bunch of people's work, you write down the surname of them. If that article was written by 3 to 5 people at one time. So Jackson, Hanks, Obama, De Niro, and Hardy, 2001. They have come up with a definition of what mental health is. So Jackson et al. Dot, comma, 2021. So here refers to this similar article, but the second time and the after the first time, the second, the third, and the following, you should do like this. Jackson at all. At all means done line. All right. Understand so far, guys? If yes, please press your raise hand button. All right. So let's go back to this one. So this is what we mean by when citing a work with 3 to 5 authors. Cite all authors the first time the reference occurs. After the first time, you only need to include the last name of the first author, followed by ET space AL dot, and then give and write down the year of the article was published. Give a bracket to it. But when citing 6 or more authors, because there are some conditions where an article is written by more than 10 writers. So what you have got to do is you don't have to write all names anymore. You just write down the first author's last name or surname followed by EL at all for all citations from the very beginning. Okay, so here is the simplified explanation. So if there is only one author, so this is how you are going to do the citation. So if there are 2 authors, so you give a symbol of N over here and mention the surname of the authors. And then if there are 3 or more authors, okay, in this condition, if you have been quoting that particular article for more than one time, so the second and the following, this is how you should do it. You write down the surname of the first writer only, ET space AL, give a dot to it first and followed by comma, and then give a space to it, and this is the year that the article was written by them, and close them with bracket. This is according to the parenthetical citation, but if you come up with things like this, okay, it's similar to this one. All right. In 1999, Jackson et al. Have proposed. Okay, the reason why we use have proposed because et al means there are more than one writer, so that's why we need to use have over here, even though they underline it with wavy blue lines. Okay, so ignore ones over here. All right, so this is how you should do it. That's for your citation, in-text citation. And let's move on to the okay, I don't have to explain to you about this the other group author or group author without abbreviation, for example, by Columbia University or NMH, because the first rule that you have got to consider when choosing your articles is you must make sure I write it down over here. I change it to a bigger size of the font and I give a bold to it. Choose the article with the name of the authors only. Okay, so this is rule number 1. Choose the articles with the name of the authors only. Okay, so let's say I share this one. Okay, so let's say I want to Google up, okay, about how to balance the academic requirement and social life in college, for example. Okay, now let's say I want to click on this particular article. Tool shop, balancing my social life, student readiness, inventory. No. Okay, this sounds quite okay. And they have the year it was published. No. Okay, but do you think that you can actually choose this article? Let's ask Nur Hazika. Nur Hazika. Are you there, Nur Hazika?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you think we can choose this article?
No,
Why?
there's no author's name.
That's correct. Okay, thank you so much, Hazika. This means you are really following my explanation. You are paying 100% of attention to what I've been explaining about. Okay, so let's go back to the search. The search list. Okay, right. Let's click on this particular link. 7 tactics for students to balance blah blah blah. Okay, so this is the name of the website, a segment with teens, and then we have the name of the author, Gloria Kopp, and then 7 tactics for students to balance college work also and social life. Okay, 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 okay. All right. So here is actually the name of the website, K segment. And then at Site Media is actually the name of the publication. Okay. And do they provide you with the date that this article was written? No, but still, I think this one is still acceptable because the most important thing is you need to choose the article which contains the name of the author. So in this case, let me copy this one up and then I use this one. Okay. All right. So this is actually another website which automatically generate um your reference. Okay, your reference according to APA style. Right. So I click on the add new reference over here. And then I have got to choose my source type. We have website, journal, books, and more. More means, these days we can even quote the YouTube videos that we have watched, right? So in our case, I will click the website because just now I have been looking for an article online. So I paste it and I click the search button over here. And this website would automatically look for the original location. And here's what they have found out. Okay, it's similar to what we have looked for earlier. 7 tactics for students to balance college, work, and social life by Hayes Sigmund. So click the site button over here. So here's what we found. Okay, review the following because okay, they managed to come up with the name of the author, the article title, the website title, and the URL, but they could not find the name of the publisher and also the publication date. So you just click the continue and you need to insert some of the details manually. Okay, they have the name of the author, no problem. Year published, okay, they basically if they couldn't find the exact year when the article was published, so they use the current year, okay, access date, and then we know that the publisher's name just now, okay, publishers is actually the name of the company who published this website. So digital marketing by Sept Media. So this is the name of the publication. So you insert this back. So what's the name again? At Sept Media. So you need to insert the details manually like this. And then you click the complete citation. Click the complete citation and reference edit. So you click this one. Okay. All right. So over here are the list of references that I have generated earlier or yesterday with my students from other classes. So to check which one is the latest reference that we have just generated a couple of minutes ago. So you look for the highlighted list of reference, the one which is highlighted with yellow color, right? This is the one. So you copy the bibliography citation like this, copy it, and then you go to your Google Documents or your Microsoft Word later, and then let's say this one. Okay. Remember the size should be 12, and then the font design should be Times New Roman, and give a paste for it. And still it doesn't appear as a Times New Roman's design or font. So you need to highlight again and then change it to Times New Roman. And you see it's actually bold, it's actually bolded. So you undo the bold thingy. So this is how it would look like. But the original way to arrange your list of reference is like this. Let me share the bibguru.com back. Okay, so we go down. Okay, you may find out the details. If you want to know how to write it manually, you can read through this part in detail later on. But because I think some of you may do a lot of errors if I were to ask you to write it down manually. So just use the generator. Okay, so look at this one. So here's how your references should look like. Okay, it must be arranged nicely like this. And as you can see over here, it is given a double space. And then we have, we don't have the number or the bullet button, but still you have got to arrange it nicely like this according to the alphabetical order. Okay, can you see? It starts with A, Aldred, followed by F, Fiedler, followed by Galetowicz and Coulson. You see, GA comes first, GO comes later. And then Manfredo, and then Morts Lee, okay, because MA comes first, MAN comes first, followed by MAW, and then Pierre Louis K, and the last one is Warren R. Price J. Graham, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here's how you can arrange your list of references. It must be arranged according to the alphabetical order. How many of you who can actually understand what I'm explaining about these references? Please press your raise hand button. Okay, good. Good. And then pay attention to the lines. Okay, for each one. Okay, this one is the first one, Aldred, and it was quoted from this original website, www.theguardian.com, blah blah blah. Pay attention to the way they arrange the ideas. Okay, look at the first line. Okay, this is the original line, and look at the second line. They give a tag. Can you see the space over here? Okay, the space over here before http www.theguardian.com. So this is what you should do it. This is how you should arrange your reference. And look at this one, Galatos, which has Relic L Phillips Mel. So for this particular reference, they have 3 lines altogether. Look at the first line, it's the original way, and then the second and the following lines, they give a tab to it. Okay, this is how you should arrange your reference. Okay, let's go back to our Google document. So in this case, I show you how you can actually arrange your reference if it happens to be like this after you paste it on your Microsoft Word or your Google document. So it doesn't look nice. Okay, because there's supposed to be a tab on the second and third and also the following lines like this. So what you can do is you go to the first, you go to the last part of your first line and you give an enter to it like this. And then you click on the delete button because we want to remove the space. And then you press the tab button on your keyboard. You see, okay, there's a space between it already. And then you see, all right, so it doesn't look like the references that you have seen on the screen right now. So how can we fix this? Okay, let's go back to the Google documents. So you give a backspace or you delete the empty space over here. No, sorry, give an undo to it first. So what you can do is, okay, you move your cursor over here and you click it over here and you give a backspace to it, or cannot because it will go down like this. So what I'm going to do, you know, the hack that I'm always the hack that I always did when I was a master student, when I was a degree student is I'll do a click over here. You know, I give a click, I separate this part like this, and I give an enter to it. Oh no, because it's too long. So give, all right, so maybe I want to use this one. Give a balance and they do not turn up as well. And you give, yes, that's how you do it. All right, so it says on 28th of September. So you see the second line, it's already given a tab space, and same goes to the third line. It also has the tab space on the before we write down the lines. Okay, so right here are some of the examples of the references that I have managed to generate automatically yesterday. So I bring them down. So I'm using Times New Roman and the size should be 12. Enter. And let's give paste to all these links before. Okay, so this is 12. How come this is 10? So you must make sure the size should be consistent. It should be 12. Okay, if it happens like this, so you know what should you do. All right, like this. And you give a space to it. Enter. And give a tap to it. And if it happens like this, you know how to adjust it. Okay, sorry. Okay, you should know how to adjust it. You should bring this back at, no, cannot as well, maybe because the space is too far. So you give a space to it like this. And then this one oh no, sorry. Okay, so you give an enter to it like this. And then you bring this all back again. Okay, and here it is. Okay, right, this is how you do it. Okay, so if I were you, I would try to remove the hyperlink so that the original link can actually be accessed like this, or you just have got to give you just have got to underline as well. All right, and you highlighted everything over here, and you change the color of the text to black like this. Can you see? Can you see how we hack uh the underlined sentence over here? Okay, so same goes to this one. You need to highlight it up until here. And then you, where's the underline? Okay, you underline it. You see the first part, the color of the first underlined part is blue, and the second one is black. So you turn all into black. So this is how you should do it. Understand? How many of you who understand the trick? Please press your raise hand button. Okay, and you must make sure you arrange your references according to the alphabetical order. So make sure Bandelo comes first, followed by Cop G, followed by Loreto, then Nataraj and Rana. Okay, and it's almost 9 already. How time really flies when we are having so much fun, right? So how many of you who find that today's lesson is super beneficial to you? Please press your raise hand button. Okay, good. So I don't want to hear any issues saying that, okay, I don't know how to do the LLL, sir, because I've been explaining to you very thoroughly. And as a matter of fact, I will share the recording session of today's lesson with you later on. I will upload it online and you may refer to it all over again. Okay, so I think I want to stop here since you may have got to go to your next class. All right, so that's all from me. Okay, and as for the articles, I want to check it by next week. On Sunday, we have class on Sunday, right? Yeah, I'll get back to you later. All right, thank you so much for joining me, class. All right, you may leave the room now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Welcome.
sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Okay, right.